little job, guys. Let's see what happens. I've never done this before. I've took my steering wheel off and I've taken the stalks off and I've took this apart. I've just took this off, which required popping that cap off there. This, what I'm trying to touch. Then this stalk here can come off, and behind that was a copper plate which I've got some wire wool and cleaned, and I've cleaned all contacts that I could see. There's a bit of grease in there, a bit of grubbiness, which I can see has gone all over the copper contact, which has made it not work, because the problem I'm having is the indicator stalk is not working when I put it onto the right. I'm having to hold it a little bit, which is dangerous, and I'm running people over almost and crashing almost. So I've just done that. I'm going to pop that back on, pop that back on, and see how it goes. So wish me luck. I've noticed that triangle pops out, that moves. Now I'm not 100% how that goes, so I'm going to pop it out and take it and then put it in after I've put it back together, just in case it goes a specific way, which probably goes like that, but it seems to be moving when I'm trying to put it back in. So let's see. It does seem to be a spring-loaded ball bearing type of thing there. Watch it doesn't pop out. Just nearly has done. Hook in the bottom under the lip of the stalk, and it should just press in this now. Wear gloves on both hands, and my advice is very messy, greasy job this, guys. It's going to take some cleaning to get this crap off. Let's get this over here, over this edge, and should be on. And there we have it. It's back on. Stalk's still functioning. It is a bit of a daunting task. It's a bit scary if you've never done it before. I admit I've never done this before, but you've got to have a go, haven't you? So now I'm going to put this back in. Just make sure that's in the middle. And I'll put this back in. This arrow. Doesn't go in as easy as you think. Yep, there it is. Is that gonna, what's that do? What it does, I haven't got a clue. It's in. I don't know what it does. It's not moving. It's just staying static. I'm going to put that plate back on. If you look, it's got little levers, if you can see. I doubt you're going to. On the back, you just press them from the inside. Little clips, tiny little clips. Get the Oompa Loompas in there making them. Looks like the top goes in first, and then just press. That's that back together. Then there's a spring. Sorry about the camera, guys. Got it resting on a spanner. That spring goes back, and then I'm going to press this. Just click it back in. I might give that piece of copper a clean with the wire wool. Right, after all that copper slides down there. So follow that spring. This long thing here, it's a spring, even though it's not coiled, it's a spring. It's for the movement of that. The very end of that is a slot, and that's where it goes. I've just got onto it now. So that copper long thing slides down in there, and it comes out of the back. First, I'm going to put that screw in the middle of the stalk. Takes a little bit of a wiggle because it's aligned. Then I'm going to put these three. Then it has these clips. You clip them in first, but taking it apart, you take them off first. 3 of them. And then you do the screw. And do the opposite when fitting it. Slide it back down. Pop them 3 in. The torque heads, but they're also flat, so you can use a flathead screwdriver. Easy, they tighten easier than they did to come out, and I can tell you I'm using a torque now, and it's needed to tighten back up. Getting them out with a flathead was fine, but it's better putting them back in with this torque, and it is a T10. Fingers crossed. I'm going to plug all these plugs back in now, what I've took out, and then I'm going to give it a try. The right side worked, the left side worked already. It was the right the problem, and it's still there. It's not as bad though. I don't have to start giving it all this, and I probably could improve it, but how? I think maybe if I took it apart again, and raised with a screwdriver the contacts, raised them off the board a bit, because they're probably worn out, they're probably really worn. So I'm going to do that, see how that works. And I've noticed these plates, what I cleaned initially, they've got little springs under. So what I've done is very slightly stretched them, and I've tried to bend that a little bit the best I can. I've got no tools with me at the minute, and I'm not going back in and out. So yeah, this is my last attempt. I've just got that there. I'm going to give that a little bend and then push it back in. Those 2 ends slot into them little slots there. There's 1, there's 2, and there's my manky nails. They're clearly Rosemore. They were a bit flat pressing in and out. They are Rosemore. Whether they're a problem, I don't know. But the next step is to... what they connect onto. I won't be bending them up. Maybe that's the best I can do. If they've worn, they've worn. They're like flat almost into the plastic. 2 little springs that were holding in those 2 copper little connectors. So I've stretched very slightly them springs, see if that does out as well. I've just tested the parking lights and they work. No joy. I give up. Buy a new one. I give it a bash. Look, the right one's not working. I know what the problem is. I've broke my right one. What a dick. There's a little, that triangle thing I took out, the plate, the middle of that fell out, and that's when my problem started. It's something to do with that. So I'll look at this again later on, but for now I'm going to leave it because I'm getting too invested and I'm hungry. But the parking lights are working. Look, if I put the left one on, oh, it was on a minute ago. It's not anymore. Now it's in stage. Take it out of stage. Take it out. Oh yeah, sorry. It's got to be out of stage, hasn't it? It's a parking light. Do the right one. Working. The indicators aren't working. So, because of the issue with the little triangle that fell out on the side of the plate, I'm going to take that apart again, try and straighten it up properly, put it back together. If I can't do it, I'm going to have to buy a new one now. So I'll cause myself a problem I didn't have in the first place. Back on this next day, I've the piece that goes over this, I'm holding it together. this thing here in my hands I've squeezed. If you can see those tabs sticking up, I've bent them upwards. So I've bent them that way, because it looked to me like they wasn't touching the board after I've assessed it properly and brought it out and into the house, rather than mess about with it in the van. And there's one more tab under my finger that I'm going to attempt to bend now. I'm going to build it back up, and I think it should work. If not, I've found one of these stalks, brand new, on eBay for about £15 something, £16 odd. And it's £16 something in total with the postage, so I'll just buy one. But if this works, it's a bonus, isn't it? Something I've just discovered is that this slides up and down. I'm guessing I've been pushing it in and out and struggling with the end of that. If you look on there, has a hook, and that hook, that's what keeps that on. I'm guessing you slide that up or down, either or, and you put this on, then click it into place. Then that little white thing, you put that back into that hole and it locks it from going up and down. And then you can put the cover back on, and then you've built it back up. So I'm going to attempt to put this back in now with it down, I'm guessing. So I've slid it down. This pushing on that white thing, that end with the connectors on. Push that over, and then that pops off like that, what you don't want. So I'll start again. But you get the idea, that it's not popped out anyway, it'll go back on straight away. And just sort that, get this back off. I've been hooking it under the hook before I put it on, so I'm gonna, even though I've just sussed that out, what I've just noticed, I'm gonna stick to how I've been doing it, just like that. Like that. Push that back in. It's working. I can slide that up by the looks, yeah. Yeah, everything looks good. It's in. I'm going to pop this white thing in. There's a little spline sticking in the middle there for it to hook onto, where it goes on like a shaft, plastic shaft for it. It's not the brightest room in here. That's on there, if you can see. Now that doesn't slide. You can see it like a spring. The arms on the little white thing, it's like looks like a little man, a little crucifix. And then you can put this little cover back on. Just click in. And I've rebuilt it back up. I'm going to go and try that on the van now. And it's the last time I'm doing it. I'm not doing it again. I'm going to buy one if it doesn't work. Let's go. moment of truth. Still the same on the right. Worse. Having to hold it. And I've got none on the left. I've destroyed it. I'm going to buy a new one. I cannot be arsed. I don't know what I've done, but it's not working. The hazards work. They always do. Can't use those on driving, can I? Oh well, guys. Don't do it yourself. Buy a new one. Day 3 and the stalk's just arrived, so we'll pop this on now. I think I know the problem, why I broke it and how, but we won't go into that. We're sticking a new one on. But if you notice, there was a little prong that slid up 2 tracks, copper tracks. They fell out and I put them in back to front. I put them in the wrong way around. Oh well, it is what it is. I've got this. I'd rather have that than that. Moment of truth, guys. Whip out the plugs, press the clips and pull lightly on the opposite side of the one that you've pushed. In fact, the one that you pull that first, then press the clip and it will come out. Undo the screws. Whip it off. There we go. It's on. That's different. If you're that bothered, it pulls off easy enough on this one. It says VW on it somewhere. Oh yeah. Underneath the hazard, underneath this hazard, see it says VW 104. Now I know this pulls off, but I don't know if that pulls off. I might give it a bash, then it looks more original. And it just pulled straight off. And now looks good to go. Pop the screws back in. Yeah, they're a bit tight, these screws, you know. They're not just going in easy. What's that about? Let me check the box if it's come with some different screws. Aye, but these top 2 stiff. I had to proper force and screw at the same time. That top one that you can see in, and I'm going to have to do the same, I'm guessing, with that other one. So that's in a nipped up. That's nipped up. Now this. See, it's not going in. Have to force it down. I'm not too happy about that. That's about it so far. So far, so good though. Try and do this as quick as I can. Keep it rolling. One take. One clip in. Back one in. Never been good at getting it in the right hole. Two in. The final one. The final. Yep. Right, where are the keys? Well, the hazards are working, the button's flashing. I thought I might have brought the bulb when I pulled that off. But the reason this has all been done, please have indicators. Yes. Yes. So I've done a little mod thought I'd show you. That had a big groove in it where it had been rubbing off the back of this Bose, off this aftermarket steering wheel, and that created a lot of this black, no doubt toxic, carcinogenic plastic stuff. So I've marked this up with a marker before I took it off. So just line those marks back, if I can get them back. Yeah, that's it. I'll whip the nut on. As you can see, where I've done the bit of a mod to the casing, not the best. Whipped the old Dremel out, did it quick time, but it's better than all the dust it was creating and the noise every time you turned. There we have it, all built up. Very happy. No more near disasters, no more almost causing accidents. Very dangerous these when they go, guys. If you're watching this video, you already know. My opinion, just change the stalk. It's easier and it only cost me £15 something. Just change the stalk. If this video has helped you in any way, guys, please subscribe to the channel, like the video if you liked it, that is, because there's nothing worse than everyone asking me questions, which they do, and I answer everyone, as you know, those who have asked me questions, and getting no love back. It doesn't give me any encouragement at all to share the projects that I've got and what I do and what I've got coming. Bit of love don't go amiss, and I give it back and some. Take it easy, guys. Have a nice day.